This knowledge being spread. It's like warm butter across the bread. Smooth, I know you like that. Flow with the grain and don't fight that. You want righteous love, you found the right match. With Marty McFly, they on the right track. Yeah, gotta dig the dirt to plant the seed. Spread roots till you sprout like a tree. Doni Jones, she the one you wanna see. Doni Jones live, this is where you wanna be. It's Doni Jones live, Doni Jones live. It's Doni Jones live, Doni Jones live. It's Doni Jones live, Doni Jones live.
Hey, welcome to another fabulous episode of Doni Jones Live. I am Donnie the Tree Lady hanging out with
that guy, Marty McFly, making it do what it do. And Donnie, how are you?
Ooh, you made that rhyme. See, I couldn't come back with something that rhymes that quick. I couldn't.
I'm working it.
Man, I am doing so good right now. I'm feeling good. What's that?
Falling and
yep,
and
trees are falling.
Yep,
all of that, man. So well. Yeah, man, I'm doing really good. I'm excited about today's show because we have an amazing guest.
A wonderful one, yes.
Yes, a wonderful guest. And the cool thing about it is that she's a woman we've known for a while. She's been on the show before, but we felt like we needed to have a little refresher course with this wonderful woman of God because she has really taken her ministry to the next level at a time when a lot of people are starting to shrink because of what's going on with COVID. She's starting to grow, and she's making her message known to thousands, if not millions. And we just wanted to get a chance to kind of reconnect with her, see what she's been up to, and also just as a way to say thank you for the support that she's given us. And I'm talking about none other than Dr. Cynt Gilstrap.
Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for this awesome invitation. Thank you, Miss Doni, the Tree Lady, and that guy, none other than Marty McFly. So thank you so much for having me on with you all tonight.
Well, thank you. And thank you for being the woman that you are. Seriously. For the people that don't know, I mean, obviously we know you are author. We know that you are a minister. We know you're an entrepreneur, but I want you to delve a little bit, give the people a little something about who you say you are.
And we also
that's very interesting that you would say that. I guess, at home, I would say that I am mommy. I would say that I am a single parent. I'm grandmother. I'm friend. I'm auntie, sister, cousin, all of those things. But of course, in the world, I do what I do. So, of course, we wear so many hats. Yes. And then I go to work every day. So I actually go to work every day. Somebody brought it to my attention. How do you balance all of this out as just one person? I said, you know what? You just do what you have to do. You just get in and make it happen. So, that's just who I am. I'm down to earth. What you see is what you get. I'm not trying to change. I'm not driven by numbers. And a lot of people in the society are driven by numbers. I got to make this amount of money. I got to make this amount of money. I'm driven by what the assignment that God has placed on my life. I'm trying to do what he's instructed me to do, one soul at a time, one person at a time. If that's coaching, if that's teaching, if that's developing, whatever it takes for me to do my part, that's what I'm trying to do. So,
well, and you're doing it, and you're doing it beautifully. One thing I didn't mention, which I should mention, is that you're also a show host. You have your own show.
Yes.
Every Friday. Tell people how they can find it, and we're going to get into the meat and potatoes of what you and why we're so excited about having you on the show. But I want you to tell people about your show.
It was so amazing. Real quick, I'm going to share my story. Real quick, God placed in my spirit, and I didn't tell anybody because I was just like, I'm not doing this. I don't have time to do it. Like, there's no way I can do this. Like, how do I fit all of this, what I'm already doing, into my schedule? The young lady from Louisiana sent me a text message and said, I saw you on TV. I saw you with your own show. I said, no way. And I said, who told you that? I know I didn't tell you that. Yeah. So now I do have my own TV show. It's Down the Earth Talk with Dr. Cynt Gilstrap every Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 7 p.m. Central. So I'm excited about what God is definitely doing. So you can find me on CyntGilstrapMinistries.com or at what's the name of my other thing? Hold on 1 second. It's called, I got so much. Hey, what do you say? What do you say?
So if you don't mind, can you tell us a little bit more about the show, though? because the other night we came on, but I want to know a little bit more about the show and what is it all about?
The other day, I asked God, I didn't want to just have a ministry show.
Right.
I didn't want people to come on this show and just talk, just minister and preach. We get that all the time, but I wanted my show to be different. So we come on and we talk about the issues of life that they don't discuss in church, or people are afraid or ashamed or too embarrassed to discuss. Right. So that's my platform. I want people to come on down to earth talk and talk about down to earth issues. Exactly. So we open it up. We don't discriminate if you're a believer, if you're a non-believer. It's open up to the world. So the platform that I have, Down to Earth Talk, is open up so that we can literally dialogue on every topic, every situation. It doesn't matter. And nothing is too big, nothing is too small, just depending on that individual guest comfort level. So this is the vision that God has given to me. And I'm praying that, someone here, so far it's so good. I've received great remarks and response from them. So this is the vision that God has given me for Down to Earth.
Has anybody cussed you? Has anybody chewed you out yet or cussed you out on YouTube or like?
No, it haven't came yet. It haven't came yet.
I'm gonna tell you, but I'm experience. It's coming.
It's coming. You got to build the hate up a little bit.
Exactly. I'm gonna commend you on that, because even at our show, Doni Jones Live, people know that Marty is a minister. We, even though he's a media personality, Marty McFly, and I'm a person of faith. I do not put a label on me, but I'm a believer in God. And so we talk about it, a lot of stuff that either stems from the church or should stem from the church, that some of it's positive and some of it's negative. And then whenever we talk about the negative, we talk about the fact that there are things that need to be talked about that aren't talked about. And one of the things that you and I connected is that we both were big victims of sexual violence. We both were victims of domestic abuse, me at the hands of my dad. And then obviously you can talk about the things that you went through. But and then my dad was not the sexual abuse. He was just the beat him up, hit him in the face or whatever with a fist, and the sexual abuse was teenage date rape. So, but when I went to someone about this, it was like kind of, you know what, you didn't die, you're gonna be all right. You know what I mean? Sometimes these things happen, and then bounce. And it's kind of swept under the rug. But when you're a young woman, you live with that trauma unless you address it. And one of the things I like about your show is that you actually talk about these things. And I know Marty wanted to ask you a question pertaining to something that's going on in the news right now and how you felt about it. And it pertains to sexual abuse and domestic abuse.
Yeah. I don't know if we have a lot of time on this segment, but I wanted to get your opinion on this R. Kelly trial. On this R. Kelly situation, and just wondering, and I don't even know what the question I wanted to ask, but if you've been following it, and with because we know your story, you shared it with us in the past. What long-term damage are these girls or these women going through? Two, is this something that the media? I know the prosecutor, being his defense, is saying, well, they're all about the money. They change their ways or viewpoints about this because the relationship went south. What would be your thought about this whole situation? And I'm just kind of curious about your viewpoints on it.
The first thing I want to say is that R. Kelly, I'm quite sure many knew a long time ago that he had a disease.
Yes.
Many people knew, but because he was so intellectually inclined, or he was a lyrical genius, that they overlooked the fact that he was making people millions of dollars. So they swept it under the rug. I think he should have gotten the adequate amount of help that he needed back then in those days. I do believe, my opinion very strongly is that things are exposed when money begins to run out, or when you tell a person no. And I feel like it does play a major part or component to why he's been exposed as much as he actually have, because at the end of the day, I don't care what people say, money can buy silence. And so though he have a disease and though he's sick, I feel like when they knew that it occurred the first time, I think he was dealing with Aaliyah, someone then should have stepped in and said then, okay, you need to seek some help because this is molestation. She's way beyond your years for you to date her. You know, Aaliyah's parents should have said something. Some guardian over her, you know, who she was should have been said. You know, something should have been stated. However, as a person that has been molested and that has been raped, it could be long-term trauma. It just depends on the person's strength to want to recover. Recovery is always important and imperative based on the simple fact that you've got to make a choice in the decision. My difference was I made a decision to get up. I made a decision not to die. I made a decision to forgive my assailant. I made a decision that I wanted to live. And I wanted to live past my trauma, past my drama, past my issues, past my pain. And I wanted to take my pain instead of cocooning it. I wanted to take my pain and transform it. I wanted to show people how to transform your pain now so that you can live a productive life. And that's what I've done with my life. So I've been used as an example to say, and no one can tell me that if you decide to live, that it's not possible. Yes, I had heartaches. Yes, I had pains. I had many broken relationships. Yes, I was promiscuous. Yes, I went through divorce. Yes, I went through homelessness. So no one can tell me the transition of what dealing with pain was actually like after being a molested child or being a rape victim. So you got to make a decision to want to live.
And real quick, we're about to take a break. Let people know how to get in contact with you again. You know, because I think that you have a message. You know, you have something to talk to and put into other people's spirit. So how can they reach you?
They can reach me at cyntgilstrapministries@gmail.com. They can also reach me at cyntgilstrapministries.com. They can reach me. They can Google me if they need to at Cynt Gilstrap Enterprises. They can find me there in cyntgilstrapenterprises.com. I'm on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. I'm on LinkedIn. So I'm on all social media outlets. So they can definitely find me.
It's Cynt Gilstrap is spelled CINT. Gilstrap, Gilstrap, and it's important because
because a lot of people call me Clint.
I love my audience, I love our fans, but some of us are on the mature end, and slow it down.
And many times they'll slide an L next to the C. Right. So thank you for clarifying that.
Absolutely.
We're going to take a quick break. You're listening to Doni Jones Live with Doni Jones, a certified arborist.
And Marty McFly, the certified production extraordinaire, media personality. Go for it, man.
Yes. We'll be right back.
It's Doni Jones Live, Doni Jones Live. It's Doni Jones Live, Doni Jones Live. It's Doni Jones Live, Doni Jones Live.
Hey guys, I'm Donnie the Tree Lady, owner of Don's Tree Service. We are an Atlanta-based tree service serving all of Metro Atlanta. And you know what? We proudly serve the underserved. And not only that, when we cut down your trees, we don't charge extra for cleaning up. So give us a call at 770-413-8733. That's 770-413-TREE. Check out Don's Tree Service online or at www.donstree.com.
Don's Tree Service.
Hey, this is Marty McFly. Now, if you've listened to the show, there's not a secret. I'm a minister. I'm actually a pastor of a church, a wonderful church in East Point, Georgia, called St. Mark Lutheran Church. And what I want to do is invite you to one of our services, or any of our services. See, our service is online, on YouTube, and it's free. You ain't got to pay for it. You ain't even got to do offering. But I invite you to share with me in worship, and just check it out. If you like it, subscribe. And you can actually send me a message or a question. But it's St. Mark Lutheran Church with Minister Marty Ringer. You can actually log on right now and have church with me. That's St. Mark Lutheran Church with Minister Marty Ringer.
Hi, I'm Donnie the Tree Lady, owner of Don's Tree Service and author of my book, From Failure to Fabulous. From Failure to Fabulous is my story about taking my life from being an abject failure to building a fabulous life that I absolutely love. And I'm hoping that you'll take the time to check out my book, from failure to fabulous.
Get your copy of this inspiring book by Doni Jones, entitled From Failure to Fabulous. Available now on Amazon and DoniJonesLive.com.
Doni Jones Live, Doni Jones Live.
Hey, welcome back to Doni Jones Live. I am your certified arborist, Doni the Tree Lady.
And I am that guy, Marty McFly, making it do what it do. So you know what? I do got a question for both of you this right now. Okay, but for
Well,
both of
can
you.
we just remind the people who listen to, with you guys, if you've just tuned in, you are listening to Dr. Cynt Gilstrap. She is an author, an entrepreneur, and a minister. So if you all are need somebody to listen to and you ain't quite with the whole scene that's going on right now, this is a woman that you might want to plug into. And right now we are talking about real life stuff that a lot of times people don't want to talk about in the church.
Right,
So,
in the church is the things that, you know, in the
talk to me.
society that happens in the church, because I'm thinking of like the R. Kelly thing and Aaliyah, like you had just brought up. And this is something that I'm really kind of curious about, because if you've heard in the news, her parents, Aaliyah's parents, are like, no, they never did nothing like that. Them girls just lying. My girl was an angel. She was sweet. Aaliyah never did nothing wrong with that man at all.
What?
All them girls are making it up. Yes, I was reading that story actually this morning. And it's like, you have parents that is like the world knows. Right.
Denial.
In
That's
denial.
That's
You know, because I'm saying, if you think about it, this is my 13-year-old, 14-year-old, you know, with this.
And he was talking about marrying her. If he didn't marry her, he was talking about marrying her.
So
and he was what, like 25, 26 years old then.
Okay, to catch you up, when she was 15, he was 27, and he got her pregnant. And with that, he rushed back, and they got a fake marriage certificate saying that she was 19. So the pastor that married him, he didn't know anything about them. You know, he just doing it as a friendly favor. But they were getting married because he thought that he had her pregnant, and the only way to get out of that, you know, underage law, he had to try to marry her. So, but then afterwards, the family found out about it and got it annulled. However, I don't understand why
she wasn't. He thought she was pregnant, but she wasn't, right?
Yeah, I'm not sure if it ever came out that she was pregnant or not.
Okay.
You know, but I know he came back and married her on the assumption that she was pregnant.
Okay.
Right. So, the rest of that, the other part, I don't know for a fact that if she was pregnant or not. But it's a thing where this 13-year-old is hanging out with the 27-year-old. Where is the parent at?
Exactly.
That was my question.
Right. And at the same time, here's the thing. We said, part of your show, you have things like that happens in the church too. That is like, oh, well, Deacon Scott, he always likes to take, Madison home, and it's
You
like,
hit the nail on the head.
And one day she said, well, Mommy, I really don't want to ride with Uncle, Deacon Scott. Oh, girl, don't just leave that alone. He don't really treat me right. I don't believe that. You just making certain things up. Now, I say that, and I'm not criticizing, the church, because there are great deacons out there, and I'm not putting them out there because they're great workers.
There's good guys like you.
Right. However, right. I am so curious about the overseers of the children, because the same thing with R. Kelly. It was a young boy who was in his teens, working at McDonald's. And the same thing, the first meeting was with the parents. The second one was with him by himself.
Yeah.
The next one was him by himself.
We already talked about it on the last show.
Right. You already can paint the picture. But so, with that, we could, if y'all want to, we can change the subject and get on a.
No, actually, I want to address it because something you said that was so profound. And what we don't address in church is what needs to be addressed somewhere. And and you all may not know, but I have my own coaching and counseling facility as well. I mean, services as well. And they're online at R3 Coaching and Counseling at gmail.com. But I want to say this. I have coached and mentored so many women and men, just a few men though, because men, I don't know, they have this shell against women that, you know, try to bring them through this.
Right.
But so many young ladies that have been molested by deacons in the church. One young lady specifically, her story hit my heart so that it just did something just earth shattering to me, to know that he would lock her in a closet, come back and get her, and nobody never looked for her. That bothered me.
Oh wow.
That bothered me. They were doing service while he was upstairs. She was downstairs in a closet with mops and brooms and buckets and different things like that. And to know that no one looked for her. No one thought about, well, you know, where is the little girl, you know, with the 3 ponytails or the little plaits? Why she been gone so long?
Right.
You don't go to the restroom that long, and to know that no one looked for her. And this was an ongoing situation for years.
Yes.
So these things occur in the church all the time, you know, but why are they not addressed? They're not addressed, in my opinion, is because a lot of men of God have to be exposed, and they don't want to be exposed. Watch this, and I'm getting ready to mess your audience up, because back in the slavery days, a lot of our color came through what you call buck breaking, and you had a lot of slave owners that molested men in front of their children, men in front of their wives, men in front of the people that was in the compound where the other slaves were. So guess what happened? They felt like that was a learned behavior or environment, and they passed it down and began to molest their boys, began to molest the men, and the men began to molest, watch this, the girls that was in their family that didn't even belong to you. That wasn't your right to do, and nobody came back to address the issues that buck breaking was wrong, and who gonna kill that demon? Because that keep transferring through generations, and somebody got to stop that.
That's right. Well, I think that's one of the reasons why we're talking about these things. We talk about hard subjects on this show, not just because it's, you know, it gets your ear, but because we want to see people finally stand up and say no more. We want moms and dads and aunties and uncles see that person over there, or that cousin or that nephew doing something that don't look right, and actually address it. I remember being at a family event outside. It was somebody else's family event that I was invited to. And there was an older man there that kept inviting this 11-year-old girl. This was right around Christmas. And we were around the Christmas tree, and there was ladies on the other side of the room in the kitchen making hot chocolate and, you know, potato salad and all that kind of stuff. Well, he kept saying, hey, sweetheart, just come sit on my lap. And the girl didn't want to do it. And he's like, come on, sit. And the whole group that was there was rumors about this dude. There was an uneasiness about him. Like, people, oh, you know, he's so crazy. You know, like, it was a known thing that this dude had issues. And so he kept, you know, saying, oh, come sit on my lap. And she kept saying, I don't want to. So finally she gives in and goes towards her. And I said, sweetheart, come here. I'm in the kitchen. I said, sweetheart, come here. Yeah. Come here. And she and I locked eyes, and she knew that I knew that his behavior was inappropriate. And she came in the kitchen and helped me finish, you know, making what we were making in the kitchen. But my thing is, how is it a group of adults don't speak up? What is that about?
We feel like it's not our business. It's not our place, you know. But I agree with you, because I am like, where are the adults? Where are the ones that stand up and say, that's wrong, and I see it going wrong? You know, being silent sometimes is the most evilest thing that you could do to somebody.
Preach, Marty.
You know,
Preach.
Being just like, I see, but I'm wearing my sunshades on today. Yeah, so you know, so hopefully you don't see my eyes looking at your mess, but I can see what's about to happen.
Let me sing my song. I'm gonna sing my song to y'all. I'm starting with the man in the mirror. Yeah. And what happens is that men and women have to now look at their embarrassment or their shame. They don't want to identify what's true and what's real. So they'd rather turn their back or sweep it under the rug. And I think Doni and I talked about sweeping stuff under the rug, and then act like your man not sleeping with your child, or you dressing her up, and you not making her go get in the bed, or you turning your back because he wants your child, and you just so you can have a man in the bed with you, then you're willing to watch this, pay a fee just so he can stay in the house, and you can say you have a man, but you will use your child. That's pimping and prostituting, mothers and fathers.
Right now in our community. And these women know that these men are doing it. And it's so sad, because if it's obvious to me, you and I, then I truly believe that it's obvious to the mama, and she's just choosing to do this to her child. I don't think a lot of this stuff is just, it just happens and she has no clue. I just don't believe it. You know, I just don't.
And that goes back to what Marty was saying about R. Kelly. I think money talk. I don't care what nobody say. When the money run out, and when you say no, when he stands up and say no, then he's going to be exposed, because you paying me to keep my mouth quiet. But now if I don't have money to, feed the appetite of my lifestyle, then yeah, I'm getting ready to talk. Or either you're going to give me some more money and I'm going to stay silent. So yes, I feel like a lot of the parents knew, because you cannot tell me that your child staying out at 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. I don't care if you say they're in the studio or not. You need to go to school, and I'm coming to look for you and find you. You need to be in the house, because guess what? My mama said after 12 midnight, ain't nothing open but legs.
Come on now. Ooh,
the legs in the hospital.
The same thing.
Legs in the hospital. But even with that, and we're about to take a quick break. But even with that, these girls were staying in there for days and weeks. Not being able to communicate. There ain't
that much recording going on in the world.
Oh no, especially if you can't.
I'm coming to look for my child. So why these parents wasn't looking for their kids?
Right.
That's right.
Right. And they say, they didn't have access to talk to them. But anyway, we got to take a quick break. We are listening or hanging out with the wonderful, beautiful Cynthia Gilstrap, and you're listening to Doni Jones Live. With Doni Jones and Marty McFly. And we'll
be right back.
Be right back.
It's Doni Jones Live, Doni Jones Live. It's Doni Jones Live, Doni Jones Live. It's Doni Jones Live, Doni Jones Live.
Hey guys, I'm Doni the Tree Lady, owner of Don's Tree Service. We are an Atlanta-based tree service serving all of Metro Atlanta. And you know what? We proudly serve the underserved. And not only that, when we cut down your trees, we don't charge extra for cleaning up. So give us a call at 770-413-8733. That's 770-413-TREE. Check out Don's Tree Service online or at www.donstree.com.
Don's Tree Service.
Hey, this is Marty McFly. Now, if you listen to the show, there's not a secret I'm a minister. I'm actually a pastor of a church, a wonderful church in East Point, Georgia, called St. Mark Lutheran Church. And what I want to do is invite you to one of our services, or any of our services. See, our service is online, on YouTube, and it's free. You ain't got to pay for it. You ain't even got to do offering. But I invite you to share with me in worship, and just check it out. If you like it, subscribe. And you can actually send me a message or a question. But it's St. Mark Lutheran Church with Minister Marty Ringer. You can actually log on right now and have church with me. That's St. Mark Lutheran Church with Minister Marty Ringer.
Hi, I'm Doni the Tree Lady, owner of Don's Tree Service and author of my book, From Failure to Fabulous. From Failure to Fabulous is my story about taking my life from being an abject failure to building a fabulous life that I absolutely love. And I'm hoping that you'll take the time to check out my book, From Failure to Fabulous.
Get your copy of this inspiring book by Doni Jones, entitled From Failure to Fabulous, available now on Amazon and DoniJonesLive.com.
It's Doni Jones Live, Doni Jones Live. It's Doni Jones Live, Doni Jones Live. It's Doni Jones Live.
Okay, we are back with Doni Jones Live. I'm Doni the Tree Lady.
I am Marty McFly that constantly puts his foot in his mouth by saying wrong things. And, right now I'm really speechless, because I said Cynt's name wrong, but then she just corrected me and said her name is Cynt. What was that again?
My name is, I'll tell you after the show.
Yes, it's right. For right now, Marty, it is Dr. Cynt Gilstrap. You guys, we are having an amazing conversation with Dr.
She just spoke in tongues. She said, my name is Cynt. I said, oh, Jesus. And then she's going to say, well, that's a private name. I can only use that in the company of private people. Like, oh.
Exactly.
I am not mad, but yes, this is Cynt Dr. Cynt Gilstrap. I'm going to stop. Doni, that's your tab.
I'm gonna hurt you, dude. Okay, well, Dr. Cynt Gilstrap, I know we were kind of wrapping up talking about the obvious things that have happened in the community as far as sexual abuse, molestation, and stuff like that. But I want to find out. I like to talk solutions. I like to not only address the problems and talk about the problems, but what would you say is something we can start right now as a community, start doing, and then we'll move on to my favorite subject, which is entrepreneurship. Or I don't know. We're gonna do something.
You know, the first thing is communication with your children. We can never be too busy that we don't talk to our kids. I remember a long time ago, you know, back in the days that I was growing up, we used to all sit down at the table and have dinner together. There was one TV in the house. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Then there was two, but the TV that we watched all together, we did it together. So my point is, communication is always important when you have children, because if you don't communicate with your kids, it'll leave an open door for other things to come in and other people to communicate with them in the wrong way. So communication is vital. Don't be too busy. Spend time with your children. I know, you know, we have busy lives. We want to be entrepreneurs. We want to be ministers, whatever you have going on, but communicate and talk to your children. The next thing is, years ago, there used to be a time where there was a village. Well, we don't have villages anymore, because if you talk to somebody, talk about somebody else's child or talk to them, they ready to fight you. We talking about the parents.
Oh yeah.
So again, where is the parental counseling? Because now we're living in a day and time that most parents are trying to be their children's friend. Yep. There is a boundary and fine line to respect and parenthood that I draw for my 27-year-old. You will not call me by my first name. I'm still your mom or your mother, and you're going to respect me as that. You may not like what I say, but you're going to respect what I say, and I'm going to get it out and say it, because at the end of the day, you haven't lived to be my age, but I've lived past your age. So there has to be some sort of wisdom that I'm able and capable to share with you. But watch this, that's not with everybody. So there has to be parental coaching and counseling in place to help parents that did not grow up with the foundation of what entails of being family. A lot of women do not know what family entails, what they entail to be a family. Girl, go find, let me give you some money. You just go do what you want to do. No, that's not being a family. You got to lay a solid foundation. One thing I can reflect on that the Bible says, it says, train up your child in the way that they should go. So when they're old, they won't depart. And even though they make their own decisions and have their own judgment, you train your child up, eventually they're going to come back to their roots and their foundation of which we lay. So communication with your children, making sure that you have proper understanding about what's going on. I know when I was growing up, when I was raising my child in my early 20s, I was 23, 24. When I had her, I always asked her, did anybody touch you today? You know, did somebody do something inappropriately to you? You know, what happened at school? You know, what happened? Do you have a note for me? You know, you communicate to make sure that you're now building that trust factor in you and your child's relationship, as well as communication. So if she's ever or he ever frightened, they have the open door policy that they can come and talk to you, and you just not push them away. I don't have time for it. I'm trying to be with my man. I ain't got time for it. I'm trying to be with, my dude. No. You got to open the avenues to allow them to come in and feel comfortable enough to share whatever they want to with you.
Yeah. And then to piggyback on what you just said, they have to learn how to be a parent. They have to learn how to communicate with their kid. This may sound really basic, but even before, when I knew I had fallen in love and I knew I wanted to have kids, and even before I knew I'd fallen in love, I used to watch parents that I knew were good parents, and I would ask them for advice on what it would take to be a good parent. I read books, I listened to television shows, I watched blogs, I Googled stuff. I did whatever I felt like I could do to give myself some kind of leg up on how to communicate with my child so that I could wind up with a better result than I seen coming out of my own home when I was and have a better relationship.
One thing, let me add this into it, Donnie, and giving kids everything don't make them good. Right. It makes them irresponsible and spoiled. Teach your children responsibility. Because if you teach them how to be responsible, then they'll learn the foundational things about life.
That's right. And kids actually need boundaries.
Yeah.
Sometimes if mama and daddy don't even have boundaries, how are you going to teach your kids boundaries? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They don't even know what boundaries look like. you know. And I'm just telling you, what you just said is so powerful. They
Right.
need to figure it out, you
Right.
know.
Yeah,
If I could just say this one quick thing, because I heard this a while back and it has stuck with me. It's more important than is well, it's not about what you leave for your children, is what you leave in your children.
Ooh,
That
exactly.
is the most
you need
Exactly.
some kids,
you
Marty.
know, no, I don't. Yeah, I'd be one of them people that's like, he beating his kids all the time. He was not fit for a parent. This the kind of person because I don't have patience. See, I think God knew what he was doing with me. And it's something that you had said earlier, Sin, with that Bible verse that you had said about raise a child as they should go, as you know. But if you don't know how to go,
There,
how you
that's where I
gonna
was trying to get to.
train a child? Because I'm saying a lot of parents, mothers or fathers too, they don't know how to be parents. They weren't
Read.
taught to be parents. And even
That's
going
right.
to your buck, what you was talking about in slavery, that was a way that actually broke up the family because they
That's
would
right.
put the man out there and molest him and beat him. So that woman, that wife, is looking at her husband, who's supposed to be the protector, getting beat down, losing his dignity. How can I put my faith in him?
Right.
That's your daddy getting his tail whooped. They lose all hope for the man,
Right.
and then it's like a repetitive cycle. But that's no here or there. But going back to, we are we're trained the wrong way.
Yeah.
Our role model,
Absolutely.
and it goes. Of course, it's the sexual thing, and then it goes farther than that. That we're messed up sometimes.
Yeah.
You
Absolutely.
know,
Yeah, it goes back to Jim Crow. I mean,
yeah,
exactly what the man said whenever he wrote what he wrote in the Jim Crow law. It
right.
exists today.
It
They
will
they
continue
literally have
on for generations.
demasculated the man in the
That's
household. And so now they made the man, I'm talking about the black male figure, look as
Yeah,
if he's not valuable or there's no need or use for him. I'm focusing on that component. Why? Because a lot of men um, that I know in my day and time, younger or older, are now trapped as a little boy on the inside trying to
right.
figure out how to be a man
That's
because
right.
they never was able to learn. Because why? They didn't have that sit down men. Because in my day and time, men used to sit around and they had men conversation and they would train and develop or mature some of the young boys. I'm not talking about every man did this, so because they didn't. I'm talking about real conversations of how to be a provider, what it takes to take care of your family, how to lay the foundation, and
Yep.
things of this nature. You don't see that anymore. In my day and time, as I was growing up, you seen more absent fathers
Yes.
than you did now and today. Now the bridge is being formed or reformulated. Now it's coming back together where a lot of younger generation and millennials are saying, I'm not leaving my kids out like that. Not
That's
like my dad did me, or not like my mom did me, because the door swing open both ways.
that's right.
And what you said was that the fact that a lot of women and men don't know how to be parents. That is so true because they did not have the role models that they
Right.
need in their own environment to mimic their own behavior. So now
right.
the streets had to train them,
Yes.
the streets had to develop them, the streets had to mature them, and now they don't know. So what they get off of just cussing the child out and get out my face and so and so and so and so, that's how that child, watch this. Now that's a learned behavior for that child instead
Bingo.
of seeking the proper guidance or help that they need in order to be a better parent. Why is it so embarrassing for us as parents to ask someone that knows how to do it, even if it's not perfect, but they're doing it better than us? Why we can't ask them for help?
Oh, believe me, I had to swallow my pride because there were parents that I felt were in better understood child psychology, that understood how to set boundaries without physical, intervention, and they were able to raise what I perceive to be as good kids. And these people are now wonderful adults and they have great relationships with their parents. I had to, as a young woman, go, I don't know how to do this. How did you do this? How did you get that result? And going back to what I said before, reading. A lot of times, if you've been through something, you know what you don't want. So you can,
Yeah.
even though you may not know how to get where you want to go, you don't want to go back to where you came from.
Hmm.
And the only way to do that is to make a decision to change. And you go, okay, well, change to what? just change and go, I'm going to do something different. And then start getting the tools, putting yourself in a certain environment, start educating yourself. And right now with Google, I don't want to hear it. I really don't. Between Google and YouTube, I don't want to hear, I just don't know. There's so much stuff right now, even in my business where I go, I don't know how to do this.
I want to throw a little salt in what you just said. I want to throw just a little teaspoon of salt. Every person, watch this, every male, or whoever the parent is, really, based on an educational system, are reading on a third grade level. That's so true. Many people should pick up a book and read, but they can't read.
But that's what I said. That's why I said.
Wait. You mean that I read on most average level right now?
You know what, Marty? Why are you Marty? Okay, and you're right. They do a lot of, and it's actually proven that a lot of us read on a third grade level. Guess what? Get third grade level books that can explain this to you, or watch a video, or ask or somebody else that you know that has a result that you want. Marty.
Exactly.
I just gotta, just read the room right now and just say we gotta take a quick break. So
no! Okay.
Yeah. But we're gonna pick this up on the other side, but this is really, 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 really fascinating and good. So Donnie, I messed up last time, so you gotta do the you listening to Doni Jones Live.
Doni Jones Live with Doni Jones and Marty McFly and the wonderful, illustrious, beautiful Dr. Cynt Gilstrap. You guys check her out on all on platforms of social media. By the end of the show, she'll be giving that information out again. But if you're getting something out of this, please go to YouTube, like, share, and subscribe.
Yes.
And call at 1-888-349-DONNIE. That's 1-888-349-DONNIE. And let us know what you think of the show.
Yes, and we'll be right back.
It's Doni Jones Live, Doni Jones Live. It's Doni Jones Live, Doni Jones Live. It's Doni Jones Live, Doni Jones Live.
Hey guys, I'm Donnie the Tree Lady, owner of Don's Tree Service. We are an Atlanta-based tree service serving all of Metro Atlanta. And you know what? We proudly serve the underserved. And not only that, when we cut down your trees, we don't charge extra for cleaning up. So give us a call at 770-413-8733. That's 770-413-TREE. Check out Don's Tree Service online or at www.donstree.com.
Don's Tree Service.
Hey, this is Marty McFly. Now, if you listen to the show, there's not a secret I'm a minister. I'm actually a pastor of a church, a wonderful church in East Point, Georgia, called St. Mark Lutheran Church. And what I want to do is invite you to one of our services, or any of our services. See, our service is online, on YouTube, and it's free. You ain't got to pay for it. You ain't even got to do offering. But I invite you to share with me in worship, and just check it out. If you like it, subscribe. And you can actually send me a message or a question. But it's St. Mark Lutheran Church with Minister Marty Ringer. You can actually log on right now and have church with me. That's St. Mark Lutheran Church with Minister Marty Ringer.
Hi, I'm Donnie the Tree Lady, owner of Don's Tree Service and author of my book, From Failure to Fabulous. From Failure to Fabulous is my story about taking my life from being an abject failure to building a fabulous life that I absolutely love. And I'm hoping that you'll take the time to check out my book, From Failure to Fabulous.
Get your copy of this inspiring book by Doni Jones, entitled From Failure to Fabulous, available now on Amazon and DoniJonesLive.com.
It's Doni Jones Live, Doni Jones Live. It's Doni Jones Live, Doni Jones Live. It's Doni Jones Live.
Back to Doni Jones Live. Y'all need to get some of the behind the scenes stuff. I don't know how we can do this, but we need. You're listening to Doni Jones Live, and we are cracking up over here with Doni Jones, Marty McFly, and Dr. Cynt Gilstrap. She is gracing us with her presence. Right before the break, we were talking about how we can make a change and change this generational curse of child molestation, sexual abuse, and just sweeping stuff under the rug and having a real conversation about seeing real change in our community. So we were talking about that. One or two more suggestions, and then we're going to move on to what I want to talk about as far as what you're doing, and I'm so proud of.
Mm-hmm. If I could throw this in, if I could remember what my statement was, because I had a good one. I really had a good one. But about change though, I think change. The biggest key about change is if we were touching on it at the end of the last segment, but reading, educating yourself. Going to seminars, being exposed to new things, even the youth. letting them see that there is another way of life,
That's right.
letting them see that there is something else to do versus dribble a ball, run a football, be a rapper, because those are short-lived successes,
Yeah.
but really teaching them, and then at the same time, once you are older, still read. Still, don't stop your education.
Reading is
Just finish
fundamental.
high school. Right.
It's fundamental.
Reading is fundamental. And the more that you do read, the better your reading gets.
Yeah.
I remember one time, because I work in an educational system, I remember we took our kids downtown to the Fox Theater, and many of the children were so amazed from the county that we were in, which is 20 minutes from downtown Atlanta, would make statements about, oh, we went out of town to another state. Do the people here talk the same language that we talk? And it was 20 minutes outside of Atlanta. Are you hearing what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They had no idea, because they had never been downtown Atlanta before. And what you're saying is so important, because we need to expose our children to more surroundings that, watch this, show them productivity or show them prosperity versus having them in poverty-stricken situations or environment that make them feel like they're unproductive as citizens, because that germinate on the inside of them, and then it comes to take root.
That's right.
Right.
Be careful what you feed your mind, body, and spirit.
Right.
Exactly.
It's funny. My high school sweetheart, the girl I was dating in high school, it's funny. I knew it wasn't going to work out, because I'm like, what is your dreams going to be? I said, I love that she was perfect in all other ways, but her imagination was so closed, because I had just moved from Ohio and went to a rural part of Georgia where a lot of people didn't get out of that town or community. And so I remember a conversation saying, I want to have the big house. I want to have the picket fence. I want to have the 2.5 kids and the dog and everything, and our own businesses and this. And she said, I really just want a trailer bricked in. That would be so cool. That's what I want. A trailer, maybe a double wide. I can see a double wide, but bricked in, and piece of land, I'm good. Because she hadn't been exposed to anything else.
Exposure. Absolutely.
That's all she could see.
That's right.
And sometimes you have to understand that people they can't go farther in life because they're afraid. They won't step out there. So it's like they'll never move out of their community because they're terrified of the big city or terrified of change. That's why I'm trying to shift this into entrepreneurship, where even with people that have been working at 9 to 5, and they say, I have something on my heart and I want to change and I want to do something different. Like Donnie was saying, read a book, make small changes, and next thing you know, you can make that small business idea into a reality. Like Miss Cynt, like Dr. Cynt. Okay, we know that she was an inspirational speaker, when I first met her, but now having her own platform. Donnie, you wanted to have a conversation a little bit more about her.
I wanted to talk about the fact, and I think we've talked enough on this subject that y'all got more than 2 things from Dr. Cynt, so she don't need to go into the 2 things. But one thing
I'm sorry.
I admired about no, the one thing I did admire about you that I do want to get in before the show wraps is that I've seen you grow your platform. I've seen you grow your ministry in the middle of what people are saying, with this pandemic. And I've seen other ministries shrink. So what is it what mindset or what happened when last year happened and you were like, okay, I got to keep my ministry going. What was the shift that you made that maybe you could teach other people in this moment?
I made a decision to quit. I made a decision to get up. I made a decision it's 3 words that I'm focusing on this season. And one is risen, one is rise, and one is arise. I made a decision, one, not to quit. Quitting in my mind is not an option. My mom has been deceased now since 2002, and she's always told me and her children, we known as Charlene and her kids. So it's always been told, if you started, you better not quit it. And so quitting was not an option for me. I made a decision to push harder. I made a decision to strive harder. And I always have told my me and my daughter, we have a mantra because I was a single parent. It's me and you against the world. I've told her from a little bitty girl, I said, Mommy gonna fly the world. We're gonna live big, so that was my mantra. So in my heart, it's a promise to me to fight hard for my kids. And now I have a granddaughter, I fight even harder because I want to be the parent that leave a legacy and an inheritance for my children. And I want them to be able to say, my mom or my grandmother laid this foundation for us, and now we're carrying it on. And that's important for me. I fight hard every day, knowing that I'm a step closer to be the successful entrepreneur or businesswoman or minister that I can allow my kids to just step into my shoes and just keep it moving. So I fight for them to live every day on behalf of myself and God. I don't want to fail God. Most of all, I don't want to fail him. I said that if I could be number one in the world, if I could be at every club, every party, if I could have every drink, know every bartender in the city, then when I gave my life to Christ, I was going to do it completely. And quitting on the Lord would have made me feel like a failure, and I wasn't willing to do it. So it just pushed me even more, and especially as a divorced woman and as a single parent, I'm very challenged on what I do because most people feel like you can't do this and you're not married. But until God sent me the husband he wants me to have, I have no choice but to keep moving.
That's awesome.
Like
That's powerful stuff right there.
and keep. I was gonna say, Paul said, if it was him, he wouldn't even get married. He'd just do his thing. But that's a whole different.
Cynt wants to be like Paul. Do you, Cynt? You want to get married?
just
I'm gonna have to hug you.
Anyway, Cynt, I just want to say thank you for what you're doing. Your inspiration. And keep doing your thing.
Absolutely.
And you know that.
Thank you.
And you already know that whoever God employs, he empowers. So he's empowered you to do this task of inspiring people, making that change, and bringing up those hard conversations. That some of us don't want to have to talk about. Not me. I talk about it all, but
we are going to talk about it all.
Yes.
But Dr. Cynt, what's so that the people once again know how to get in contact with you? Let them know how to get in contact with you. Also, if you got any new projects coming up or anything you want to give a shout out about, put it out there.
Yep.
Thank you so much. Every Tuesday I have Testament Tuesday, so it comes on 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on our conference call line. Testament Tuesday, I've been having that now since 2013. We have a conference call line 404-891-6566 for those that are interested. Testament Tuesday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Every first and third Thursday, I have fuel up station where everyone drive by on Facebook Live and get a fuel up. They get a charge, renewed and energized, infused. There's a word that comes from the Lord every first and third Thursday, and that's Facebook Live. You can find me at Dr. Cynt Gilstrap, and it's called the Fuel Up Station. Every Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 7 p.m. Central, I am on Down to Earth Talk with none other than Dr. Cynt Gilstrap herself, and we talk about down to earth topics. And I'm open to allow those that would allow to grace my platform with down to earth conversation. So I'm open for that. You can find me at cyntgilstrap.com, or you can go to cgmenterprises.com. Also, my magazine have come forth, Voices of Champions. Magazine, VOC magazine is on the rise. So I'm excited about what God is doing. So those that are interested, again, you can email, you can call, you can Google Cynt Gilstrap Ministries at gmail.com or cyntgilstrapministries.com. CINTGILSTRAP.com. That's who I am. You can also, I'm on YouTube as well. So you can like, share, and subscribe on YouTube at Dr. Cynt Gilstrap, Down to Earth Talk.
Yeah. Y'all have been listening to Doni Jones live with the beautiful arborist, Doni Jones, me, myself, and I, Marty McFly, with the wonderful, talented, just multi-gifted Dr. Cynt Gilstrap.
You ready to say Cynthia again? I was gonna pick you up.
I did it right. I ain't getting in trouble. No, she's spoken
Thank you,
tongues. I
Dr.
mean,
Gilstrap, for being with us.
no,
We
thank you.
honor you and we respect you and we thank you. All right.
Yep.
Absolutely. Thank
And,
you for having me.
And we will be back next week. Thank y'all for checking out Doni Jones Live with Doni Jones and me, myself, and I, Marty McFly. Bye-bye.
It's Doni Jones Live, Doni Jones Live. It's Doni Jones Live, Doni Jones Live. It's Doni Jones Live, Doni Jones Live.
Hey guys, I'm Donnie the Tree Lady, owner of Don's Tree Service. We are an Atlanta-based tree service serving all of Metro Atlanta. And you know what? We proudly serve the underserved. And not only that, when we cut down your trees, we don't charge extra for cleaning up. So give us a call at 770-413-8733. That's 770-413-TREE. Check out Don's Tree Service online or at www.donstree.com.
Don's Tree Service.
Hey, this is Marty McFly. Now, if you listen to the show, there's not a secret I'm a minister. I'm actually a pastor of a church, a wonderful church in East Point, Georgia, called St. Mark Lutheran Church. And what I want to do is invite you to one of our services, or any of our services. See, our service is online, on YouTube, and it's free. You ain't got to pay for it. You ain't even got to do offering. But I invite you to share with me in worship, and just check it out. If you like it, subscribe. And you can actually send me a message or a question. But it's St. Mark Lutheran Church with Minister Marty Ringer. You can actually log on right now and have church with me. That's St. Mark Lutheran Church with Minister Marty Ringer.
Hi, I'm Donnie the Tree Lady, owner of Don's Tree Service and author of my book, From Failure to Fabulous. From Failure to Fabulous is my story about taking my life from being an abject failure to building a fabulous life that I absolutely love. And I'm hoping that you'll take the time to check out my book, From Failure to Fabulous.
Get your copy of this inspiring book by Doni Jones, entitled From Failure to Fabulous, available now on Amazon and DoniJonesLive.com.
It's Doni Jones Live, Doni Jones Live. It's Doni Jones Live, Doni Jones Live. It's Doni Jones Live, Doni Jones Live.
Pastor the church, my folks and friends, listen to these words. See, God saved me from myself when no one else was around, and it was only by His grace, His mercy, His favor, 'cause I know I don't deserve all the love He showed me, how He let me know He never gonna leave my side. Saved my soul when I was just a sinner left in the cold. Give me a second chance, save me from myself. Came to my rescue when I needed help. You wanna know why I love Him like I do? 'Cause when my enemy said I was through, He took me from the bottom and put me on the top. He laid His hands on me, and now I can't be stopped.